Okay, before we do our first calibration walkthrough, I want to describe a little bit of the mechanics of this space.
With this technology, what we're actually doing is we're providing an ability to do the in-person pre-op and post-op, but not in person. So they're able to have that in-person experience without actually having to travel to Africa to do that.
For me, the benefits, they're just scratching the surface, and I think there's a lot more to come.
3D telemedicine is kind of an evolution of holoportation, which is the technology that we developed here at Microsoft Research. Around 2018, 2019, we were doing this looking into more cost-effective ways that we could do holoportation instead of this big research-grade, expensive studio system. We were approached at that time by Mr. Lowe, the surgeon in Scotland. His hospital in Glasgow has a partnership with this hospital in Ghana. As they had been working, he'd had this situation where they would go down, they would work on patients, perform plastic surgery operations, and then they would leave, and he'd ask the doctors back in Ghana, how is that patient doing? And they'd say, we don't know.
I've asked Levi, what's happened to them, and he says, we don't know, because not because they haven't bothered following up, it's just patients never come back.
They would receive treatment, go home, and then just couldn't make the trip back for any follow-up. And so there was no way for these doctors to understand how effective the procedures were, if they needed additional procedures afterwards, or if they needed any kind of physiotherapy. And so he approached us directly with this idea of, can we take that holoportation system and apply it in Africa so that doctors in Scotland could be able to have a conference call using holoportation to be able to better visualize this patient and get a better idea of the surgeries that need to be performed before they travel to Africa.
Stephen, can you ask the gent how he's getting on?
Yeah. How are you doing? Is it painful?
No, not that much.
Other experts can join to discuss this patient in 3D, and the 3D is very helpful because it's 3D and real time.
We can talk about it from our side, and then Stephen or whoever's on the other side can actually draw on the image that pops up on the screen.
It gives the doctor an immense amount of information of what they can use to figure out what the procedure needs to be. But the study that we're performing is actually how much more information does it give to the patient.
This time we were able to involve the patients and give them options as we could do this option or that option, and have involve the patient in that discussion. I think that was very, very empowering from the patient point of view, and also help them to appreciate what it is that is going to be done for them.
So they can see him as he's drawing on them, okay, this is where we're going to be taking this piece of tissue from, these are the veins we'll be connecting it to, and this is where we're placing it on your body. This is how the operation is going to happen. And it just dramatically increases the patient's understanding of the procedure. But the next thing that we want to look into is how do we provide access to rural and underserved locations?
So there's a lot of procedures where they'd be referred from maybe 300, 400 kilometers away to come to us for treatment. Now, to them, 300 or 400 kilometers away means a 3 to 4 day journey.
We tried to build the system with this idea that you could actually deconstruct it, move it to a remote clinic, and set it up again, and within a day, be up and running and able to transmit that information anywhere in the world.
For me, it's quite exciting, and I can see how energized my residents have become. They're all quite excited, and also we can see us translating the plans that we make in 3D into live surgery, almost immediately, and it's quite fascinating to see how things pan out. So for me, it means we are going to train a better equipped cadre of medical professionals going forward who are more technology savvy and using technology to improve, outcomes.